If you are elected, or in your case, Senator, re-elected, what would you like to see happen to the Affordable Care Act? And please include in your answer exactly what effect your proposal would have on the 200,000 Arkansans who are now insured by the Arkansas private option and those who have employer-sponsored plans.
Yes, thank you for that question. And I do want to talk about some specifics here in just a moment, but please remember that before the Affordable Care Act passed, people in Arkansas could be and were routinely denied health insurance if they had a pre-existing condition. In fact, they were one bad diagnosis away, one medical emergency away from bankruptcy. Back then, the insurance companies had all the power. We needed to put patients back in charge of their health care. Now, I do support changes to the law, I do, but I don't want to go back to those days. My opponent, Congressman Cotton, has already voted to go back to those days. He's already voted to allow insurance companies to deny people with pre-existing conditions to be denied coverage by health insurance companies. This is important to me. A few weeks ago, I was at church and a guy came up to me and gave me a big hug, and he said, "Thank you for voting for the Affordable Care Act." And he said, "I'm a diabetic. I have not had private health insurance in 15 years, but now I do." Congressman Cotton wants to take that away from him. I don't. Some of the things that specifically about the private option, I think we need to keep the private option. I want to give a lot of credit to the Republican legislature and the Democratic governor to work together to get that worked out. I hope we keep the private option. Right now we have well over 200,000 Arkansans on the private option and about 40,000 or so on the exchange. That together is about 250,000 Arkansans that have private insurance today that didn't have it a year ago.
Obamacare has been a disaster for Arkansas, for our entire country. And Mark Pryor cast a decisive vote for Obamacare, and he's responsible for that law and its negative consequences today. I think of all the people I've met across the state of Arkansas, I could tell so many stories. One story I want to tell is of a dentist in the River Valley and his wife who runs the dental office where he practices. They lost their health insurance. They lost it because their health insurance wasn't Obamacare compliant. It didn't have all the benefits that they wanted or that Obamacare demanded. For example, it didn't have pediatric care or neonatal care. There are some couples obviously need and want those provisions. Anna and I, expecting our first child, need those provisions in our health insurance, and we choose them. This couple is in their late 50s. They have grandkids, they don't have kids, yet they lost their health insurance because Barack Obama and Mark Pryor thinks that government-run health insurance that dictates those choices to you is better than you and your families making those choices. And look at all the harms that Obamacare has imposed on us. 2.5 million jobs lost. We're facing up to 50,000 plans canceled here in Arkansas. $700 billion in cuts to Medicare to pay for Obamacare. Arkansas seniors just got over 4,000 cancellation notices of their Medicare Advantage plan, despite Mark Pryor and Barack Obama's promises that you can keep your plan if you like your plan. And billions of dollars wasted on a broken website. We can do better. We can repeal Obamacare and trust you as patients and families and doctors. Let you shop across state lines. Let individuals get similar tax treatment as small businesses or large businesses get. Let small businesses pool their resources together so they can negotiate better rates for their employees just like big businesses do. And it's not just Obamacare. When we start over in healthcare reform, we can take a program like Medicaid that has too much red tape and return it to the states and let states make those decisions for all their population. Mark Pryor says he wants fixes on Obamacare, but he never proposes any because Barack Obama won't propose any. And Mark Pryor always puts Barack Obama first, not Arkansas.
Again, Gwen, thank you for that question. And let me give you 3 specifics on things that I do support. Contrary to what Congressman Cotton says, I don't support any changes. I'm the lead Democratic sponsor on repealing the Independent Payment Advisory Board. I'm the lead Democratic sponsor on a bill that would fix the exchanges for pastors and ministers. It's a technical fix, but nonetheless an important one. And I'm also supportive of repealing the medical tax device. So there's 3 things right there. But let me also get back to Congressman Cotton's answer on the Affordable Care Act. He had no answer at all for people with pre-existing conditions. None. In other contexts, what he's talked about is reestablishing the high-risk pool. Let me tell you something, Congressman. I'm a cancer survivor. I've lived this. I've been in the high-risk pool. It is not a good place to be. When we had the high-risk pool in Arkansas, we had over 20% of the people that did not have insurance. If we reestablish the high-risk pool, we're just throwing sick people to the wolves, and I don't support it.